Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Horror Movie Review with Daniel Richardson. Hope you guys had a great Memorial Day. And yeah, we're back right now with tonight's movie. We're going to be reviewing the remake of Evil Dead. So, you know what we do here. We get a little news in first. Right off the bat, this past week, a lot of talk about Scream 5. It's been stirring around, there was a TV series. Did it run for like 2 or 3 seasons? Like, it ran for a little bit. But the last Scream movie we had was part 4. Now, a lot of people was kind of questioning whether or not this would happen because Wes Craven is the director of the original 4. And he has since passed away. However, I'm like, there's nothing sacred at all, especially when it comes to Hollywood. So it wasn't like they were going to give a shit. Like, it's money. If the money's there, people's going to do it. So, regardless of what fans think. I personally, even though it seemed like a lot of people like Scream 4, I did not like it at all. And honestly, to me, the original trilogy is all I really watch and care about. Beyond that, don't give a shit about any of it. So I really don't want to see a part 5. I mean, I don't know what the hell you would do in part 5. Like, the only thing I would want that'd be on my bucket list as far as a fan is, A, they need to kill off somebody. Like, my God, we've had the same 3 main characters. Because that's what was great about part 2 was Randy's death. It was out of nowhere. And it's like, holy shit, anybody can die at any point here. And then part 3, no one dies. And then part 4, and you're like, oh shit, they got... No, they keep going. It's like, really? Kill off one of these main characters. And make it either Courtney Cox or David Arquette, because literally, they're not even together anymore. And they keep forcing them. And they had no chemistry at all in part 4, and it suffered because of it. I don't know. Like, I mentioned before, Neve Campbell said she was open to the idea, and I guess this past week, she's still in talks, but like David Arquette is like ready to go. He's on it. And then Matthew Lillard said, "I want to be in it. I'd come back." And it's like, dude, your character was killed in part 1. How? Can't be flashback, because the dude's like old as shit now. He's older and like more, he's just old. He's old. That's all there is to it. My God, that was 96. It's 2020. Are you fucking kidding me? So anyways, they want to do it, so I don't know. Now, I was wrong. Last time I said it was from the filmmaker or the writers behind Truth or Dare. And I was totally wrong. It was from the filmmakers of Ready or Not. Totally different movie. And I'm not gonna lie, I still don't want to see it part 5, but I'm more excited about it knowing that it's Ready or Not people instead of Truth or Dare. And for obvious reasons. One of those is just a really good movie. I didn't hate Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare was alright. It wasn't anything special. So for them talent, and I thought that's what it was. They were just talent like, yeah, we got the guys who did Truth or Dare, and it's like, go fuck yourself. That's horrible. But no, that's not the case at all. They got people behind Ready or Not, which is really good. So, anyways, that was the entire thing. And yeah, I'll keep you posted. We get more Scream 5 news in. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys wanting to see Scream 5? I personally just am not, so drop it down there below. It was announced that Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be making her feature film directorial debut. Apparently she stepped behind the camera a couple times when she did that TV series Scream Queens. And she's going to do a movie. It's supposed to be some kind of, I don't know, ecological horror thriller called Mother Nature for Blumhouse, which they specialize in, genre films. Which I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm just like, I don't know Jamie Lee Curtis on a personal level. Like, I don't know anything about her personal life, or I just feel like they're going to do an Inconvenient Truth and just make it scary. Like, ooh, look what's like The Happening. They're going to do The Happening. It's like, we already did that with M. Night. And people hated it. I only grew to like it in time. I don't know. But when they were like ecological horror, I was like, I don't care about that. I'm already out. I'm tuned out. And then it said that, because once again, this corona going around with COVID-19, they said they don't know when they're going to do it. They had to push it back. Apparently, she's also scheduled to do a Lifetime movie of the week. And, yeah. So, in fact, one of those may be her feature-length directorial debut. So, it's whichever one gets scheduled first after COVID-19 calms down. So, they released, or he released on his YouTube channel, David Lynch, that he did a short animated film that he actually released, I don't know, 5 years ago, I think is when they say it was, called Fire. I gotta say, I love David Lynch's movies. Like, the weirder the better, I say. He did that short film not so long ago with the monkey being interrogated, which I liked, but it was fucking weird. But like, this animated thing was just dog shit. Like, I watched it and I'm just like, I just don't care about this. This is just a mess. And he did a music video for 9 Inch Nails that was also animated. And I say animated, but it's like, it's weird art house animation. And that was dog shit, I thought. So, I don't know. And this was, I mean, he even said it was more of an experiment. Like, he literally just made these weird images and then gave it to a film score guy, the composer. He's like, here, write music for it without really, I'm not going to tell you what the meaning of it is. It is a weird collaboration. I don't know if the animation guy was even in on it too. Like, if the guy just, like, Lynch just told him, like, here's what I want on thing. And he just threw a bunch of fillings at him. He's like, oh, okay, I'll try to replicate that. Either way, it's on there. It's like 10 minutes long. It's a tedious 10 minutes, I won't lie to you. Like I said, love his movies. Love the weirder ones. Love the ones that you are just like, I don't know what the fuck that means. But they're entertaining. And this 10 minutes just was not. And I feel like, I don't know. I heard that he did a lot of short films before Eraserhead. And they kind of feel the same way, where it's just random weirdness. And I'm just like, I don't want that. Like, Eraserhead's about as weird as I want to get with my David Lynch films. So, anyways, so everybody's going crazy about the Snyder Cut of Justice League coming out, and apparently it's just going to be, it's a marketing tool because it's going to go to HBO Max, just a way for you to subscribe to that, which, you know, whatever. I don't care either way. I don't plan on watching. I didn't watch Justice League, so I don't care. But here's what, and I'm getting to a point, because there's a whole other topic right here on the paper that I got to segue into because I want to bring this up. Even though it's not horror related, it's the only chance I'm going to get to bring it up. It is funny because, like, when Man of Steel came out, every fanboy was bitching. It was ridiculous. Because, I mean, so when Dark Knight happens, the Dark Knight trilogy happens, everybody's at an all-time high. When Dark Knight Rises finally came out, it divided people. Some people just like, oh, just such a bad note to end on. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's my least favorite of the trilogy, but I didn't hate it. You know, I thought it was good. I mean, I was a fan of it. I don't know if I'd rank it in my top 5 Nolan movies or not, but it was still a good movie. And it's like, I'm sorry, if it's subpar Nolan, it's still better than half the shit that's out there, and I would still put that superhero movie over, like, half the ones that people love, like the Marvel ones that everybody just sucks off. I would just be like, no, sorry, not my cup of tea, and I would definitely pick that over them. So I remember when Man of Steel was kind of coming out, and that was back when everybody kind of thought that Nolan was like, when he's like on there as a producer, like he was actually going to be a hands-on producer, and he was just, and then like it wasn't until like later, he just like, yeah, I just literally gave him the money and lent the name. Like, I didn't have anything to do with these movies at all, which I thought was hilarious. But, you know, before that, when it was like, oh, Zack Snyder, the guy who did, which I thought the funny thing was, like, Watchmen's another one that everybody just kind of crapped on when it came out. Like, no one really was like, oh my god, Watchmen's great. And until the director's cut, which once again, like, I guess to a certain degree, fine, if you know, if that's the only way you can get your message across is by making 7-hour movies really long that studios hate because they want to cut down to a reasonable 3.5 hours or whatever, fuck it. But anyways, I don't know, I just feel like as a filmmaker, you should be able to work within restraints and trim yourself down. It's okay, you know. Boom. Not everybody has to do a 10-hour fucking movie. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. So, Man of Steel was very anticipated. Even I, who have never been a Superman fan. I just don't give a shit. It's just boring to me. The character itself is just very one-dimensional. On top of that, it's like, he's Superman. Like, no one on Earth can beat him, so you gotta bring out outside forces. And they can't beat him unless they have kryptonite, which is supposed to be a rare rock that no one can really obtain. And yet every 2-bit criminal has it, like, in a storage somewhere. Whatever. It's just dull, boring bullshit. But even I was excited, because even that first trailer was like, ooh, this looks like a Nolan movie. And that's what I thought. It reminded me of, like, the way the colors looked, like they were very desaturated and just kind of had this grayish kind of, and I'm just like, it reminded me a lot of like the Inception trailer, so I was kind of pumped for it. And then I watched it, and I was just like, it's okay. Didn't love it, didn't hate it, it was just okay. But it was just like, that was what everybody was like saying. Everybody was like, oh, I guess this is our new Superman direction. And they were all happy that we're building toward Justice League. So the next step in that was going to be Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, one of the worst titles ever. And we get that movie. Another movie I thought was just okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Gotta drink my water. Give me a second. But I thought it was okay. But I can definitely see why people shat on it. Once again, these are all fucking Snyder cuts. As it is. And everything irritated me was like, well, you gotta watch the director's cut that they released later on Blu-ray that was like 5 hours long. And I'm like, no, I don't gotta watch shit because that first cut sucked. It wasn't worth a rewatch, and I'll probably never rewatch it. One point I make is, then everybody was like, Justice League. And they bust out Justice League. And I just remember, like, I don't know, people were pretending to be excited, but it was like nowhere the level of Avengers. Say what you want, I don't care, you can be on the DC, I mean, you can like both. But I'm just saying, it seemed like all the DC people were just like, even they, the diehards, were just like, oh fuck, this is going to be a train wreck, whatever. And then there's some issues, and I don't know what the full story is, because I really haven't cared enough to look into it. But Snyder's out, Joss Whedon comes in, which I thought the nerd community loved Joss Whedon more than they did Zack Snyder. Like, did I miss something? Did I miss a meeting when everybody just turned against Joss Whedon? Like, what happened? But either way, then Justice League comes out, and it's very mediocre, like the first two movies in this goddamn trilogy, so who gives a shit? But then everybody's like, well, we wanted to see the Zack Snyder cut, because it's like, how is that going to be any better? It's going to be the same mediocre bullshit that we got the first two times. And now everybody's like, this is going to be the holy grail, and I just have a feeling it's going to be this case of like, that's like a Scream 4, which literally killed the franchise. Or Evil Dead, I'm going to get to later, where people were just kind of overhyping it when it came out, like on social media, like, yeah, it's great! And it's like, no, it's not. And then years will go by without a sequel, and you're going to realize how not great it was. In fact, clearly it wasn't that great at all, because we already rebooted it with Robert Pattinson coming up. So, fuck off. I don't know. So everybody's just fucking jacking off right now on Twitter going, Snyder Cut's coming soon. Our dreams will be answered. And I'm like, you guys will just bitch about it? I don't know. And I know I have my moments, and I'm going to express those moments later on when I do the Evil Dead, spoiler alert, it's not going to be a positive review. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm as vocal in my pessimism about horror franchises and where they're going. I don't know, I hate the Halloween movies though, so there you go. Maybe that's the new ones, where the direction they're going. I don't know. Maybe I am no different than these fucking fanboys who cry about Star Wars not being the way they want it to be, and how Justice League isn't the way we want it to. I don't know, I hate nerd culture, but I guess as I'm talking to you guys, I'm saying it out loud, I realize I'm just as much a part of it, just a smaller section of a darker corner. I'm in the horror movie community, and we bitch just as much, I guess. I guess the point is I hate humanity. Yeah, let's just end on that note. Anyways, reason I brought this whole thing up, goddamn, went really in the weeds on that one. So, fucking, what's his name? Paul Feig, that's it. He was just like, I have the 3.5 hour cut of Ghostbusters if you want to see it. I'm like, dude, fuck off. And it's getting some traction, like everybody out there just like, yeah. Dude, no one likes Ghostbusters. The only people who pretend like they like Ghostbusters were like the SJWs who are literally just trying to like pretend like it's okay, guys, that we have female Ghostbusters and a mediocre script. You guys just hate it because you hate women. No, we hate it because they look like a piece of shit movie of Melissa McCarthy. That has nothing to do with hating women. That's just hating bad actresses. And she's not even a bad actress. That's a bad thing. Melissa McCarthy is actually a really good actress. She just chooses not to do it. It's for like every movie she does, like The Nines, or what's that one where she was a fucking like, she did the fake autographs and shit? The forging movie? I don't know, she does it in books. Like for every one of those movies, she does like a million Tammys and Identity Thieves and fucking The Heat. Just any movie where she just fat, falls down and farts. It's like, I hate those fucking movies, and that's what Ghostbusters was. And it was just Kristen Wiig, who, once again, I'm not against her. I think her indie work is incredible, but it's like she was just doing the most generic, we're doing a girls movie, yay, type movie. I'm playing the most awkward, generic version of Kristen Wiig I possibly could. I don't like that other chick, the skinny one from SNL. I have never liked her. I don't think she's funny. I don't get it. Apparently she's popular on SNL though, and they brought her over here, and I didn't like the black one from SNL as well. I just don't think she's funny. I'm sorry. So you get 4 people who, maybe they're hit or miss sometimes, but they all fucking struck out here, and that is why no one, but everybody was pretending. It was almost like it was just a reaction of, and don't get me wrong, I didn't come out of the gate swinging on it. I feel like I was very much in the vein of the angry video game nerd. I don't know if you remember all the heat he got, because when the movie came out, he just said, I'm not going to review it because I'm not going to watch it. And he just flat out said, it looks horrible. Why would I go pay money for a movie that I know I'm going to hate? I'm just going to walk away from it. And guess what? Most of America did. But yet he got hate for it because he was called, hating women and blah, blah, blah. And he's thinking they probably threw racism at him or whatever. You know, he's a toxic male. And it's just like, no, it's just a shit fucking film. That's all it is to it. And but I feel like a lot of people were just trying to defend it just because that's the thing to do. Like, oh, we'll stand up for it because all this masculine toxicity is literally just, killing this. These poor people making a movie. They're just women trying to. No, it was a bad movie, and that's why I hated it. Goddamn, I'm getting worked up, and sorry, the corona's not helping either. So I just lost my water. Man, I got a long way to go. So, anyways, but I'm getting sidetracked here. This started off with an angry episode. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really I don't like Evil Dead. So, anyways, but regardless, but I guess he's teasing or threatening, in I guess my opinion, he wants to release the 3.5-hour cut. Go like, fuck you. No one wants to see a goddamn 3-hour cut. You know how bad that movie was? It was so bad they had to reboot it again. That was the first reboot. It bombed so bad, they're like, shit, reboot it again. And we got another reboot, which looked okay. I mean, it had a good cast at least. At least they nailed that part of it. And they actually connected it to the first, I don't know, I'm getting, fucking Ghostbusters sucks. I don't care what anybody says. I will fist fight Paul Feig in the fucking face. I will punch him. I don't give a shit. I've seen that guy in real life. I think I can take him. Anyways, going on to another franchise that people seem to be very vocal about or against today. So, Jurassic World Dominion, which had to halt production due to COVID. That's kind of a recurring thing I'll notice here. Sorry, got sidetracked there. I'm still pissed about Lady Ghostbusters. Anyways, so Jurassic World Dominion, supposed to be coming out soon, and now they're promising, like, I kind of feel like this is going to be the, if I had to compare it to something else, like almost like a Planet of the Apes type movie, or like the, not Planet of the Apes, but the trilogy just came out. What do you call that trilogy? Because I know they're all connected in the same universe. Like those three are like the prequel trilogy to the later or the earlier films. But either way, I kind of feel like it's gonna be like that kind of merging of dinosaurs with humans in in our regular world or regular reality, I guess. And anyways, they were talking about how this is gonna be the last one because it's the end of the second trilogy. And he teased, no, in fact, we're planning on even making more if Dominion does well. And I'm just kind of like, I'm okay either way. I mean, I'm always down for a good old creature feature. If you got dinos just running wild in the world, I'm cool with it. I just feel like, do we really need a Jurassic Park franchise tack to it? I don't know. I don't think there's much of a franchise. I really don't. And it's like they keep saying, like, we're going to bring back these characters. Like, but I don't care about those characters. Like, I'm not that nostalgic for Jurassic Park. It was a great movie. And it had some really bad sequels. The reboot was pretty good. I actually liked the reboot. I know a lot of people didn't. I liked it. But, once again, I'm not clinging to it like it's the greatest thing ever. I could have took it or left it. And honestly, I don't care. I didn't need to see more. We keep getting them. I'll keep watching them. And honestly, I'm okay with it right now. But it's just like, I don't know. Is there really a franchise at this point? Like, what reoccurring? I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, I guess with the new one, the new trilogy, it's all about Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. But beyond that, it's like, I don't really care about bringing Jeff Goldblum back or Sam Neill. It's like, why? Why are you bringing them back? What are they gonna do? Is Ian Malcolm just gonna like strap on a shotgun and go out there and start hunting dinos now? Is that what we're gonna get? Or just cut to him saying something witty. Just him just being Jeff. Just get Jeff Goldblum. Just get Jeff Goldblum in a room, just saying wacky shit, reacting off camera, and then we just cut to him. That's pretty much what we'd be doing anyway. So it's like, why not? I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, more in the future if Dominion does well, because I feel like all the movies are gonna be coming out. I think they're all gonna do pretty good because like literally everybody's just gonna be like, yeah, I want to see new movies in the theater. So I think these first batch of movies are going to come out. They're going to be pretty goddamn well. So, all right, that's all we got from the news. Sorry to news it for a while. I went on these random tirades there, but goddamn it, it irritates me. All right, put paper away. Paper distracts me. Even when I don't write notes on it, I just write the format. But for whatever reason, I just want to keep my eye keeps going back to it, and it's just like, oh god, so it distracts me. So guys, the finals are finally in. It's the Horror Villain Showdown. We're at the finals. Once again, we're going to retrace the path here. Michael Myers took out Hannibal Lecter, Norman Bates, and Annie Wilkes on the way to the finals. And Annabelle took out Cujo, Leatherface, and the Candyman. So who's going to walk away as the first ever Horror Villain Showdown champion? And guys, it was close, but one person won. Narrow victory. The margin is very narrow. And it's shocking. Annabelle wins. Annabelle wins. Did not see that coming, but Annabelle wins. Seems like the few people who voted for Annabelle said that it's supernatural, and the fact that Myers is old. The one that voted for Myers was just like, yeah, Myers, because Annabelle's is all. That's what they said. They're like, you can tell they didn't see the Annabelle franchise, even though I've been kind of preaching up the fact that she's supernatural or whatever, and they're just like, yeah, Myers, because of course it's Myers, because he's just cool. It's a popularity contest on their side, but then on the other side, they're just like, well, no, like he's old. Even just Rob Zombie's young hulking monster, it's like, it's still paranormal. Like demons will usually win. So there it is. Annabelle is the champion. So there you go. Next week we will unveil a new game. We won't do another tournament, but we'll do another showdown type thing. But we'll get to that next week. So there it is. Thank you for playing. Those who played and the people who were giving me submissions with stories, hilarious, good stuff. So yes, stay tuned. Next week we'll have another game. A little bit different, slightly different, same kind of concept. But we'll get to that next week. Alright, no more beating around the bush, let's get to it. Let's talk about 2013's Evil Dead. Yes, it is a remake to the Evil Dead from the 80s. 81, sorry. 5 kids go into a cabin, they unleash hell and have to deal with the consequences. Okay, where do I start? Let me just dive into this thing. Let me just dive into it. Best way to do it. Right off the bat, I was not going to be a fan of this movie when it came out. I'm better now, but it seemed like, especially in the early, the 20-noughts, the 20-teens, it was just like, it was horror movie remake overload. It really was. Like, it was just, every year, there's like 4 or 5 remakes that ever did. And it just seemed like no one gave a shit about it's just like, I don't know. Here's what irritates me about remakes. If you want me to be completely honest with you, I'd much rather see a sequel. Give me a fresh story. It's like, yes, I get it. You can only tell the same story. How many times can you have the kids go to the woods to meet Jason? I get that. Yes, I'm not saying the correct answer is take Jason to Manhattan or space or put him up against Freddy. I get that too. But it's like, this is why we have creative writers who its job is to write good movies. And if not, fuck it. Then come back to it later. Don't reboot it and just, that's the thing I hate, is I know they keep changing the name of remake to reboot. they retool it, it's rebranding, it's whatever the fuck you want to call it, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking remake. And the problem with remakes is they're just carbon copies. They literally just they're photocopying it. That's all it is. To me, you know what great remakes like? Whenever you ask somebody, what's your favorite remake? Inevitably, everybody goes, The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing from the 80s. You don't know why? Because they didn't just redo The Thing from Another World from the 50s. Once again, granted, I know there's a big time gap there, but it was a different era. It was a different look. Yes, they went to the source material with the story, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, they could do that now. They could literally just take the concept and do something totally different with it. Why don't they? The Fly. David Cronenberg's The Fly, another great example. Look at that and the 50s version. Two different movies. And before you're like, well, 50s were different because, you can. It's like, no, it's not. You can do something different each time. Every iteration of Dracula, I hate because it's always the same fucking thing. Like, no matter how many years get between these Dracula remakes, they're always pretty much the same thing. They keep following the same story. That's why the little oddities, like Dracula Dead and Loving It, or Blackula, or Vampire in Brooklyn, feel fresh because it's like they're different because they're not just doing the same thing over and over, hitting the same story beats over and over. I've seen those. I want to move on. So, right off the bat, when they're like, we're remaking Evil Dead, I'm like, why? Like, all the filmmakers are still alive. Sam Raimi is still an active fucking director. All the producers are still working. Fucking Bruce Campbell's still out there making movies. We want part 4. We want either an Army of Darkness 2 or an Evil Dead 4. What the fuck's what's the hold up? What are we doing here? And they didn't do it. They're like, no, we're gonna do this because and I'm just like, my God, I hate the world sometimes. I'm in a bad mood. Today's a bad mood episode. I'm sorry. People are just, I don't know. Anyways, so that was the first strike against it. I was just like, we don't need the remake. And that's the thing is like, I'm always for you. Whatever, fuck it. You want to remake? Make all my favorite classics. Night of the Living Dead, The Shining. If you want to fucking put a remake on it, fine, but make it good. Give me something that's different, and I'll be like, all right, fine. Because even at the end, if it sucked, I'll be like, well, it sucked, but at least it was something different. I didn't know what to expect. Twist it a little bit. Don't just photocopy the motherfucker. So, first strike. Second strike came when it was announced that Diablo Cody was going to be the writer. Now, I would find out later on that I guess she wrote like the first draft, and then they drastically changed a lot of that shit, and other people took over and wrote it. So I'm not sure what her elements she had to it. I'm not a Diablo Cody fan. I'm just not. I didn't care for Juno. I just thought it was very pretentious and just didn't care for it. Jennifer's Body was dog shit. I don't care. It gained a cult following later on. It was still bad. I tried to rewatch that not so long ago, and it was just like, God damn. I literally should have given a writer. I'm sorry. Sue me. So, I went into automatically ready to just hate it based on that. Once again, not sure how much she wrote, but it's not like it's much different now. Like, the story is still very blah, especially the opening part. And I'll get to all that in a second. So I was already just set to fucking hate this movie. And you shouldn't do that. But at the same time, I've also done it before where I was looking to hate a movie, went into it, and my expectations were so low, and the anger just like, I'm looking for a reason to hate this movie, that I wound up liking the movie. And it can go either way. So I've learned, with me personally, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but for me personally, it doesn't matter what my preconceived notions are going into a movie. If the movie's good, I will usually walk away going, yeah, it was good. I'll give it that. That's all there is to it. If it was bad, same thing. And once again, when the movie's going, like, this is going to be complete dog shit. Hey, here's the movies we're getting rid of. These are some of the DVDs we're getting rid of. Right here. I went into each of these knowing they were going to be fucking dog shit, and guess what? They fucking was. So there. But I also went into movies thinking, well, this is going to be complete dog shit, and then they're like, wow, not bad. Not bad. Went into movies thinking, like, hey, this is going to be great. And it turned out to be shit. Or I went into movies going, this is going to be great, and it turned out to be great. So you never know till you watch it. Point I'm trying to make. So whatever my feelings were going into it doesn't matter. Because if it's good, I will walk away saying it's good. I've never been that guy who like lies to himself or lies to others about movies. That's the one thing I hold sacred. I will piss on everything else in my life, but when it comes to movies, goddamn it, that's my word is my bond. So Me and Simon, we actually went to go see it because, once again, we just consider certain movies are just event films. Even if they really aren't seen that way by others. My God, we would go see Texas Chainsaw 3D. And that was shit. So certain movies we've gone out and seen just because of, the reputation they have. Same way people go see Star Wars or Avengers movies, even if it's the lesser known movies that, it's your Ant-Mans or it's your fucking Rogue Ones, people still go see them, right? So that's how I feel about this. Like, yeah, okay, it's legacy, let's go check it out. And I'll just say when I reviewed that first time, I walked out there just fucking hating it. Hated every minute of it. Every fucking minute of it, I hated it. I gave it a few, this was okay, that was pretty good, but overall hated it. And that was back in 2013. Here we are now 7 years later. 7 years later, have not seen this movie once. Josh works with us there at TPS. He's a fan of it. He likes it. And that's a kid that literally, I talked to him, and we have a pretty basic common ground. We got a pretty wide gray area, but we do have the black and white sides, of this mixture. And so on my side, the black side, the dark side, I have movies that he doesn't like, and he has his white side. That's just but we do have some gray. But he has Evil Dead on his side, and I just am not a fan. And there's been a handful of movies that he's got me to watch again, and I will give him more of a nod. The best example I can give is Donnie Darko. I didn't like it the first time I watched it, and wasn't anything to do if I didn't understand it. Like, that's everybody was like, "What did you get?" Like, yeah, I got it. Like, I understood it. I just didn't care for it. Like, it just had nothing to do with the fact that I couldn't. I didn't. No, I definitely understood what's going on. I get it. Like, multiple timelines, all that kind of shit. I get it. He had to go back and make another choice to make sure that that possible outcome does not happen. I got it. It wasn't nothing. It just, I didn't care for the movie. And so, talking to him, he was pushing more, I guess, on the philosophy of it, less than just the explanation of it. And kind of got me to go, okay, you know what? If I come across it again, don't give it to me. Don't give it to me. Don't give me a copy. But if fate will bring me in contact with this movie again, I'll watch it. And sure enough, I'm at half-price bookstore on the dollar day, and I saw a used copy, and I was like, well, fuck, there you go. And I bought it. Now I rewatched it, and you know what? I like it a little better this time than I did the last time. I even like the sequel. Once again, not high on my list, but it has now went from the white side to the gray area, and we agree. So there's some movies that but some movies he throws at me, and I'm just like, no, I don't like it, and I still don't. And this is one of them. So I haven't watched it since then. And so, anyways, he keeps saying, like, you need to rewatch it again, like, let your cynical part go back into with your lower expectations now, like even lower than before, because it sucks, and see what you think. And so today I watched it for the very first time in 7 years, and I can tell you right now, it still sucks a bag of dicks. Sorry. And the funny thing is this is another one of those movies where it's like when it came out, I heard, like, I'm saying I hear, this is just the people I watch or follow on social media. So my group of friends, or the people I have, I follow on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, or the channels I watch on YouTube, and like everybody there was just like, oh yeah, fucking Evil Dead was great. But it was like, no, it didn't make a whole lot of money, and critics didn't really care for it, and even CinemaScore, which just polls general audiences. So this isn't just people that's at home downloading it, which is probably this crowd. I'm sure everybody who fucking loved this movie are the ones who like bootlegged it anyways. But it's like, no, it got like a C+. Got a fucking C+. So, right in the fucking middle, it didn't blow anybody away. And I'm gonna get to that whole thing in a second. But it seemed like people were just like, no, it's great, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, it wasn't. It really wasn't. It was just boring. And the same retreaded bullshit we've done a million fucking times. So, and this one's different because the 5 friends you get there, they're not just vacationing. They give them a lot of backstory. And the girl herself, she is like a heroin addict. And basically she's going to try to sober up. And you get this whole subplot of how they tried it before and it didn't work. Of course, her brother, it's her and I guess her 2 friends. And apparently the core group was her 2 friends, and her brother. And then the brother left the town, went to college, whatever, took a job. And then he has a girlfriend who he brings back. Their mother died. There's a whole subplot about that they shoehorn in there. And then when he comes back because she's having these drug issues and she OD'd, which he's unaware of, they decide that, you know, tough love, take her to this cabin that apparently his parents owned. Which apparently they've been to the cabin before and they didn't realize that it had this weird, crazy past, which we'll get to that later too. But anyways, they show up here, and right off the bat, so we got a reason for being there. It's not just kids partying. We're not gonna do Cabin in the Woods again, which I would have preferred, actually. I'm not gonna lie, I love Cabin in the Woods. See, that's taking the concept of 5 kids hanging out in a fucking cabin and putting a new twist on it. If they would have been like, we're remaking Evil Dead, and here it is, we're calling it Cabin in the Woods, and everybody would be like, boo, it's not Evil Dead because it's the... It'd be like, no, that's a great movie. That's how you remake something, you idiots. You fucking remake it. You remake it. You don't just carbon copy it. Do you guys not understand? I don't know. Anyways, so they go out there. We got a new reason to be out there, though. We're out there to help her detox and come down and flush her system of heroin. Which I'm just like, I wish I had that kind of job where I can just literally take off for like 2 weeks. I guess it's like pre-corona. Just take off for a few weeks, just go rehab somebody in the woods in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, I wish I could just tell my boss, like, hey, I want to take a couple weeks off. Why? My sister needs, need to take her to the woods and just kind of make sure she's off the heroin. You don't pay me for those 2 weeks or what? Anyways, so they all show up there, and right off the bat, the writing kills me. Bad writing, that hacky. I mean, it's not just this movie. A lot of movies are guilty of this. Like, right off the bat, we're going to establish that, hey, they're brother and sister, because he's going to be, in the first 2 lines, he's going to say, hey, I'm your brother, that's what I do. And it's just like, I hate that. That is a convention I fucking hate in movies. I have never bumped into anybody in my family in a casual way and just go ahead to make sure everybody around us knows, like, hey, just by the way, everybody knows this is my brother, or hey, this is my uncle, or hey, this is my grandmother. No, not once have I ever done that in conversation. That's fucking stupid. Especially, it's different if it's a parent or a grandparent, because I guess, like, in that case, you would call mom, dad, father, grandfather, grandma, papa, whatever. They would have a name like that, and that's the only time you can, swing that. I never call my brother, bro or brother. And I call everybody bro, which I guess would be confusing movie language, but it's just like that's how it's life. I'm sorry, it's just how it goes. And I hate that. To me, I'm like, here's how you do that fucking scene. You just bring everybody together to try to help her. And then later on, maybe at the 20-minute fucking mark, when she's really starting to go crazy and she wants to get out of there, she can be like, you're my brother. And you're like, oh, the audience is like, oh shit, they're related? I didn't know that. That's called a story unfolding. I'm sorry. Getting mad. Getting tore up. Getting kind of, So anyway, yeah, so just, so right off the bat, we get bad writing. And I'm not saying that's Diablo Cody. That could have been the other 2 jackasses they brought in to rewrite her shit. So I'm not blaming her. I'm just blaming this whole fucking movie. It's shit. We get a whole scene. I hate, that's the other thing I hate. I like movies that unfold dialogue. That the story either don't have it in there, like the first Evil Dead. There was no backstory to there. It was just 5 people showing up, talking nonsense, and then getting killed by demons. That was it. That works. Friday 13th, the first movie. There is no backstory. We don't have to go through every character like, well, I hope I get that scholarship this year, or, oh, man, I'm really going through some shit at home. It's like, no, you're just there. I don't go around telling everybody what's in my head. Especially groups of friends. Like, I don't know. I know we're in a new culture now and everybody wants to be huggy-feely, but it's like, no, my friends now just like, hey, now we're hanging out. Let me just tell you about some serious shit. No, it's like, no, it never happens. And they always do this in movies. No matter what movie it is, they have this that one scene where it's like, let's just get everything out in the open right now and talk about everything. And this one, literally off the bat, they bring up the fact that their parents are dead and that he left home and left her there. And it's just like, do we really have to do this all right here? Can you not break this up a little bit? Another bad movie, Taken. I don't know why it came to mind, but I just remember there's a scene in the very beginning of that where they're just trying to show you that Liam Neeson's a bad guy with a past without actually doing the work. So we have a poker game. And so all his poker buddies, who were his former, colleagues out there in the underworld of busting heads with the CIA or FBI or where the fuck he was in, and they're always like, hey, remember that one time we did that mission and you're a badass? Remember that, everybody? Good. Okay, we'll go to the next scene. We established it. It's so bad. So we get those scenes right off the bat, and they just irritate me to no end. Beyond that, it's just like, I don't care about any of these characters. No one's giving me a reason to care. They're doing, and once again, I'm letting certain shit slide because certain shit's just horror movie shit that's been around forever. But once again, I feel like we just did Cabin in the Woods about a month ago. I reviewed it, and I love that movie. And it's just like, that's a movie that took the tropes and spun them on their head, and this movie just follows the tropes. The noises come from the basement, let's go check it out. Hey, there's a book down there with weird languages. And he cuts the book open, it's wrapped in like a trash bag and barbed wire, and he opens it up, and it literally even tells him, do not read from this book, get rid of the book. And then he's like, okay, and he translates it anyway, and he reads it anyways. I get it, excuse me, we gotta have a reason to say this shit, to invoke it. But at least in the first Evil Dead, it was just tapes, and the guy said it on the tape, so you hit the play on the tape, and at least that way it's like, okay, yeah, you have no idea what they were going to say on the tape, essentially. So, I mean, you could always be like, okay, these kids aren't that stupid. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have played the tape, but I mean, everybody's going to be wondering what's on the tape. But when you get a book that literally says, like in blood written in there, hey, whoever finds this book, do not read from this book. Now, granted, maybe with a little more detail. Like, hey, don't read from this book because if you read these words, demons will come up and kill everybody here. That would probably be a little bit more clear, but whatever, whoever wrote it didn't have enough time, I guess. So, they had enough time to wrap it in trash bags and barbed wire, but didn't have enough time to write a full fucking page, and I get it. God, this movie sucks so much fucking dick. So anyways, we get that whole garbage. Anyways, so he reads from the book, and then, so the girl runs out. Now, I will give this movie points for the look. It looks incredible. I still give the nod to the original because even though this looks very creepy and atmospheric and just, it looks nightmarish, it still has that Hollywood gloss, whereas that original one has that indie, literally just college students making a film in the cabin look. And that's what makes the Evil Dead to me. Like, even Army of Darkness, which was a studio movie, by the way, let's not forget that, it was a studio movie, even it looks grimy and dirty and just, I don't know, it has that low budget vibe to it. So I don't know, I like that look. And this just looks like, yeah, they're trying to be dirty and gritty, but it's like it's also very glossy and new. The CGI isn't as prevalent. I will say that they definitely do a lot more practical here, but there's just certain things you can tell they CGI. When a girl gets caught on fire in the very beginning, and it's like, it is what it is, but then why'd you do that scene? Like, that scene irritates me anyways, because like, they tie her up to a thing, and it's like, at what point did they say you had to set her on fire and then shoot up a shotgun? Like, you had to shoot up a shotgun first? Like, is that not it? Like, is there a passage that says, you have to purify with fire and then shotgun blast in the face? It's never clear, but it is what it is. So anyways, girl, the main girl I should mention, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, is it Levi? Doesn't matter, Jane Levy. She was in, this director, and I don't know how to pronounce his first name either, Fede Alvarez. Those last name's Alvarez. Anyways, he was going to do Don't Breathe, and I actually like Don't Breathe. Not horror, definitely thriller, but still good. So we'll give it one of these bad boys. And she does really good in that. And then she was also featured in Castle Rock. Now I don't know if she's done anything else, and I know she has done other stuff. I just haven't seen it. But it's like, I liked her in those two. I still like her here, and I'm even like oh yeah, I forgot she was in this. I'm just like, well, maybe I'll like her more. I've done that before. Like even in Jennifer's Body, when I found out, I was like, oh yeah, Chris Pratt is in this movie. I like this character more. Like, even though like he has a very small part in it, and that movie sucked, I was enjoying Chris Pratt there. I didn't even enjoy Jane in this. I'm just like, I just don't care. Fucking kill her, get it out of the way. So, anyways, the other thing that bugged me about this movie was just all the quick nods to the original, and I hate when remakes do that. Once again, just remake your movie. Redo everything. That's the plot should be 5 people in the woods, and they unleash hell. That's it. From there on, do your own thing. And I don't care. Maybe you won't be popular right now, but guess what? A few years down the road, they'll be like, oh no, they did their own thing. Actually, it was good. Or who knows? Maybe it will blow people away. Maybe people will just be like, oh, I was expecting them just to redo the whole thing, and no, they went a totally different direction with it. But no, it's hitting every beat. So we get yet another tree rape scene-ish. I won't really call this a tree rape at all, actually. In fact, a lot of people call it tree rape. The first movie had tree rape. The first had definitely tree rape. It was literally trees held her down, and they penetrated her just for the purpose of raping her. Because we find out later that the evil that controls the evil dead just gets into you whenever you're just wounded or something that doesn't. Doesn't matter. Like in the first movie, like one girl gets stabbed in the ankle with a pen or pencil, and then she just becomes possessed with no hope. And then Ash will get his hand caught, and you're able to save the hand. But then at the beginning of part 2, Ash becomes possessed, and then somehow he's just not. So it's just like, the rules are very iffy. Like sometimes you get injured, you just become possessed. And then sometimes, if you're Ash, you get injured the entire fucking franchise, and you will sometimes become possessed, sometimes you won't, sometimes you'll split in half. I don't know. It once again, fast and loose with the rules, so I'll let that shit slide. But like literally, in this one, in this instance, it was less of a rape, it was more holding her down, and then the evil of the vines that basically, it's like a, I don't know why take the form of vines, that seems kind of weird, but it's like almost like the serpent of evil goes up in her, I guess vaginally. I mean, it could have been the butt too. I mean, it's all, you know, they're close together. It could have went up her butt. Or her butt. It took her back cherry. So it went up her butt, and but it was for the purpose of putting the evil in her and possessing her. So it made a little bit more sense. Now, granted, the outcome's the same in both the original and the remake. Like I feel like the original, they were just fucking with her, both literally and, you know, metaphorically. They're just like, we're gonna mess with this girl a little bit, but we're also gonna fuck her with trees. So there is, like, you know, it's, they're going at, they're ripping her clothes off. Here, there's no clothes ripping. Like, the only purpose here was to put the evil in her. So, you know, I feel like I'm okay with that. I do like I said, the look of the film. But then, when she comes back, you get this whole bullshit of everybody like, what are we going to do, blah, blah, blah. But then, I will say, it does kick into a different gear. Now, it does pick up action-wise, and I will say, the enjoyment I did get from this movie comes from this point forward to a little bit. Just when people are getting picked off and the ways they're getting picked off. Unique. I will say that the cabin's not that big. I complained the same way with the original Evil Dead, but we'll get to that. Or, you know, it's not. We'll say that conversation for another remake, maybe, or for another review someday. But anyways, here it's just like, when they all separate, it's like they're all going through some fucking shit. It's like, can they not hear? Like, you guys yelling at you? Like, maybe the Evil Dead, like, the evil is so thick that you can isolate sound in certain rooms. But it's like, literally, people are freaking out in the other room, and doors are slamming. And I'm just like, if you already experienced weird stuff, and you had to, like, throw your sister down in the cellar, it's like, she's out here, door slammed, like, hey, what was that? What's going on over there? Hey, door shutting here, all three of us go see what the fourth person's doing right now. And no, it's like doors are slamming, people are screaming, they're freaking out, and then they end up mutilating themselves because now they're possessed, because of course you're possessed now, and as they mutilate themselves, then someone else is like, I'll go look around, and then they attack, and it's just like, they're getting picked off easily, but I'm just like, it is what it is. Fuck it. If Ronnie DeFeo can go through the Amityville house with a shotgun and like blast everybody and no one gets up and runs away, then I guess I'll buy that the Evil Dead can isolate sound and no one can hear murder going on in there. I will say that the scenes are pretty gruesome and gory, and that's a plus. But I've never been a gore hound. Now, let me explain. I love me some gore. Bloodier the better, but I like a good story to go with it too. Like, I'm that guy. Like The Collection. Good example. Great example. Awesome gore, great, but it also has a great story to go with it. The Saw franchise, another thing. Really solid story going through it. Bonus gore. Here, it's just gore and no real story, and I just don't care. And I think that's where it boils down to. Is even with every badass scene, it's like splice that shit together for a 3-minute YouTube video, and I'll watch that and be like, hey, that's pretty cool looking. And that's it. That's the only emotional investment I'll have into any of that. Rest of it is just fucking. It's candy. It's all it is. Just it's eye candy. Look at all the gory stuff. We're not using CGI. Are we cool? It's like, no, you've already bastardized my fucking movie. Piss off. So, without going through everything beat by beat, because they certainly went through and basically the murder, the deaths still happen pretty much the same. Everybody's getting picked off one by one. And you're kind of thinking that, and I forget the kid's name, Shiloh Fernandez? I don't know. He was the guy who was going to be Edward in Twilight. I can't believe we brought up 2 Twilight references in one fucking thing. But he got passed over for Robert Pattinson, and then his career just never recovered. And they tried to bring him back. The girl who directed Twilight tried getting back with Red Riding Hood, and that movie flopped. And guess what? His career did too. It's unfortunate because he did a movie called Dead Girl, which is an awesome movie, and I recommend Dead Girl. If you guys ever check out Dead Girl, check it out. Fucking brilliant. 2010. And he's in that. He does really good there. And here, I mean, the material sucks, but it's like, he did okay. I mean, I'm not going to blame him for a bad script. But anyways, it built up like he's going to be the next Ash. Now, that's the thing I will admit. I had no preconceived notion or expectations of having an Ash in this one. Because I think what everybody forgets is when everybody thinks about Ash, we all think about the smart-ass, overconfident, cocky, bumbling hero that we see in Army of Darkness. And it's like, no, he was not that guy in the first Evil Dead. In the first Evil Dead, he was just a pussy who just happened to gather enough courage to slay his friends once they turned into monsters and barely survive. That's who Ash Williams was in the first Evil Dead. He didn't cut jokes. He wasn't doing one-liners. He wasn't getting cocky. Like, no. And so when everybody, that's one thing I did see a lot of people complain about, and I'm like, but we didn't have Ash Williams in the first one. We just had some scared college kid who got attacked by the Evil Dead. So I wasn't looking for the next, version of Ash, which I think, they did succeed there. We didn't get a smart-ass, cocky, Bruce Campbell-like in this movie. But it does kind of make you think that the brother's going to be the sole survivor, I guess I should say, final guy. But then we get this random scene where instead of burning the place down and killing his sister, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's justified. She's fucking evil, and that's what Ash did. So guess what? He, for some reason, and they even kind of build him up as a bit of a pussy throughout this entire thing. And not just a pussy, he's a coward. He runs from his problems, and they even bring that up a lot during the conversation because, we gotta have more character development, I guess. Anyways, he refuses to kill his demon sister, sort of. And so he tries to, he buries her alive, or I guess demon, and then he brings her back with a defibrillator, and I'm like, but couldn't she still be possessed? Because it's not like the Evil Dead are going to be like, oh shit, this body's dead now. I'm not going to come back to it when it comes back alive. Like, it made no sense. I don't know. But anyways, he somehow buries her outside. We get a trash bag over her head. He buries her, and then he digs her up, defibrillator, and then when it doesn't work, he puts a blanket over her, and then when he turns around and walks away, you hear her talk, and it's like, she's alive, and they just say, yep, and the movie just wants you to assume that she's okay, and we're moving beyond this, and I'm like, how is she not possessed or evil? And I know everyone's going to be like, well, no, don't you see, because when she died, she actually died, but he brought her back, and I guess science cured the Evil Dead. It's like, fuck you, that's horrible fucking writing, and it's like, no, she's evil, and like, I'll buy that the Evil Dead left her, but it's like, why is it not possessing her now? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Brother goes in there, he gets attacked, he ends up blowing up the entire cabin with himself and all the other Evil Dead in there, leaving her. We get these scenes now, and then at this point, I don't know why, because I guess Evil Dead, that's what you go to now. It's like, it's Evil Dead. Evil Dead rules. Just hell on earth in this one location. It's raining blood outside, which is a cool visual. It looks awesome, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it don't make sense. Nothing really supernatural going on in the first one, but whatever. It's a remake. That's our argument now. Like, Daniel, you've been wanting something different, so I can't complain. It's raining blood now, and she pops up out of the ground. So I don't know if it was when she was possessed, if when she was revived, somehow her body stays behind, I don't know, but somehow evil Maya comes up out of the ground, and they have a fight. Now, we do have a scene early on, when the doctor girl, or she's not really a doctor, she's a registered nurse, but when the doctor girl, no, sorry, it wasn't doctor girl, it was the girlfriend. So yeah, when the main guy's girlfriend, her arm gets attacked, we've seen it before, and she cuts her arm off. She cuts it off up here. Now, don't get me wrong, it looks incredible. It looks great. In fact, the scene of her standing there, and she's like, I didn't think I could do it, but here I am. And the arm just falls to the ground. Like, it looks incredible, but it's just like, why? We didn't need this scene. And once again, like, how does it determine, like, when does it possess all of you and just possess a body part? I don't know. But once again, that's the argument you can make for the original, so we'll let it slide, because I still think that's stupid in the original too, but it brought us funny scenes of a hand attacking Ash. Anyways, but she cuts her arm off, and I'm like, okay, there's the nod to the first one, fine, we got it. But here, during the big rainy blood final fight between her and her doppelganger, which I guess is also a nod to Ash fighting evil Ash, it's like, you guys can just, it doesn't make sense. At least those were telling a story, and it, you know, they were working it in there. He saw an evil reflection. He broke the reflection. The little ones popped up. He ate one, and it, once again, it's wacky nonsense, but at least it made sense. This was just like, why is any of this happening? They're like, well, it happened because we're just paying homage to the original. A wink and a nod to the first one. Go fuck yourself. I hate every one of you. Hatred. It's fucking hatred. Anyways, I'm trolling right now, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. This is not the side I like to throw out there very often, but, you know, I review shit movies, and this is what fucking happens. So anyways, back to the topic at hand here. So, whenever she's underneath the car trying to hide from it, the girl, like the demon girl, flips the car up, and it lands on her hand, and she has to rip her arm off, and I'm like, twice? We have two, and it's the same arm. It's the left arm each time. And it's like, we're going to do this thing twice in one movie? Why not? Fucking why not? So, with one arm and a chainsaw, and that's the other thing that irritated me, was like every time we would see something from the original that had some kind of connection to the original, there'd be this music cue that just pop up. So we see the Book of the Dead. You know, we know, because we're watching a remake, that that's the Book of the Dead. We don't need this, dun, dun, you guys get it? This is the Book of the Dead. It's like, we get it. And so same thing happens. When she's looking for a weapon to defend herself, it's like there's a machete and something else, and then it goes to the chainsaw and it's like, oh, dun, dun, dun. It's like, oh my god. Really? We get it. Ash had a chainsaw. Ugh. So anyways, she gets a chainsaw, so she's got her one arm and a chainsaw. And I will admit this scene's really cool. Once again, there's no emotion to it. It's just a scene that can stand alone by itself. It's great for a highlight reel, but as far as it plays this movie, who gives a fuck? And she chainsaws her doppelganger in the face, and that just stops the Evil Dead. And it just stops the attack. And I'm like, I know that, like in the original, you still had, like even after Ash kind of fought them all off, the force was still there and it came after him. He never actually stopped it. And I mean, I guess here the force didn't stop anything either, because once she walks away, in a very glossy, lovely looking wood scene, it looks like it's out of like a deleted scene from like Lord of the Rings. Like seriously, it looks very enchanting. But she walks off into the woods, and then the camera goes right to the Book of the Dead, and it starts like, oh, the pages are still flipping by itself, and like, ah, and then it closes, and it's just like, it's not gone yet. And it's like, but why is it letting her go? Did it not? Like as soon as the credits roll, is it just attack and kill her? Or no, it doesn't matter. Shit movie, fucking shit movie, and I don't care. Like what you like, and I'm okay with that. So you know what? People who do like it, I respect your opinion, because I like a lot of garbage films too. I have a lot of garbage films over there. I like sci-fi giant snake movies. We all like what we like. My personal opinion, this is a garbage shit fucking film. It's stupid. It was poorly done. The only thing good about it is A, good practical effects, which once again don't mean shit when the story isn't there. A great look, great atmosphere, and some cool kills. That's it. That's it. No justification to sit through this entire fucking film. It's only 97 minutes. It feels so much longer. It feels so much longer. It feels like I'm watching 3.5 hours of Ghostbusters. It's what it feels like. It's what it fucking feels like. So, the thing that pisses me off the most. You haven't got there yet. You haven't got to the thing that irritates me the most. Okay, so we get to the very end. And I remember, I'm that guy. I'm that guy when I first, you know, before MCU made it cool, I was always the guy who would sit around for after credits. There's been times in history when movies would have post-credit scenes. Once again, Marvel didn't invent it. And I always liked looking for those. And I've never been that guy who's complained about them. Like, I used to work at a theater, and it was always funny when people would stick around. And then they'd see something else, and they're like, that's it. I'm like, what'd you want? Another 20 minutes of fucking film? Get the fuck out of here. It's just a little blood. It is what it is. So, like, I don't expect much from those scenes. It could either be a little tag, like, oh, here's that character you thought was dead, and turns out they're not. Or, oh, hey, remember that one guy you thought we just forgot about? Nope, here's what happened to that guy. That's okay. Or maybe it progresses the story a little bit. Like I said, MCU would create the whole, oh, we got guest stars now, look at this guy. He's going to be new to the franchise. And that's fine. But sometimes it's pointless nothing. Cabin Fever does that. Where literally the last scene is just the old, you assume was racist, big racist white guy who runs a general store. Turns out he's not when you see the movie play out. But then it just ends, roll credits, and then when it gets to the end, just a quick little 2 seconds of him just going, word. And it's just like, okay, it is what it is. Boom, that's all there is to it. So I don't expect much out of these, but then, so whenever I'm there, and I don't know if Simon was ever the guy that would be like, yeah, let's go. So I think him and Lana was wanting to go, but I'm like, no, we gotta wait. You know how we do this, we gotta wait. So we're all four of us sitting there. I'm with me and Angel, him and Lana, and we're sitting there watching this, and we get to the end, and it gets all dramatic, and you see Bruce Campbell, Ash Williams, and he's got a profile shot, and it's backlit, and it just looks very badass, and he just goes groovy and looks into the camera, and we fucking fade away, and I'm just like, that felt to me like the biggest fuck you to the fans. That's who we want to see. Why did we not just do part 4? Why did we not do another movie with him in it? That's what the fans wanted to see. That's what we paid money to see. I don't give a shit about these stupid fucking kids and her going through rehab and her issues with her brother. Fuck all that. They all got killed in the end anyways. Fuck them all. But Ash is who we want to see. And I don't know why the studio didn't give it to us at all. I don't get it. It's not like this movie grossed a lot of money. So even if they would give it to us and it would have bombed, they're like, well, okay, it bombed anyway, so who gives a fuck? I don't get it. And here's what irritates me the most was I shared that. I was pissed. I was like, fuck this movie. Fuck Sam Raimi. Fuck every one of those guys. This is a money-making remake. It's all it was. It was a cash grab. Fuck you if you think otherwise. It was a cash grab. It's all it was. But to prove my point even further was when that happened and everybody's like, what the fuck? That's pointless as shit. Instead of getting an Evil Dead 2, which they keep kind of hinting at, I think it's more just because Sam Raimi's like, I'll just do anything for the money now. I mean, it's true. They all, every one of those producers, Robert Taggart and the Raimis and Bruce Campbell, like they're just collecting paychecks at this point, and I get it. I don't care. Fuck them. I don't care. They don't care. So if they can just literally sit back and do nothing and let jackasses remake their movies and just get that easy paycheck, it is what it is. I get it. But here's the thing. They're not making a part 2. It's been 7 years now, and guess what? They haven't even greenlit it, nor do I really think anybody really wants to see it. Because what are you going to do? Redo part 2? Just have more people show up and just more senseless violence? Like, oh, look at this. Practical effects, guys. Practical effects. Like, this is cool. Chainsaws, blood. Oh, this is awesome. No real plot. We're not actually watching a person psychotically going crazy. We're just going to show blood and everything. Look at the atmosphere. Look at it's all A-list production value. Look at this. It's all great, right? No. There's no soul to it. There's no soul, no love put into these movies. And to prove it, we didn't even get an Evil Dead 2 remake. You know what we got? We got a goddamn part 4 finally. We get Ash versus the Evil Dead, the sequel that we have always wanted, in the form of a Starz TV show. And guess what? Unfortunately, the ratings weren't there. And it is what it is. But we got 3 great seasons. And I say great. 3 great seasons. And they were, it wasn't a remake. They didn't retread anything. It was all fresh. Why couldn't they condense that shit down into 3 fucking movies? You had take each season, boil it down to an hour and a half, 2 hours even. There's a movie. What's so fucking hard about that? No, let's just remake everything like we always do. That's so fucking stupid. And it's like, you can do it. I just saw you do 3 great seasons, and they were incredible, and I loved it. And it's like, that's what we wanted the entire time. We didn't want this shitty fucking remake. We don't fucking want this goddamn remake. I want a fucking sequel. And this is what's irritating me about just Hollywood in general. That's the answer. Let's just keep remaking it. Or we'll just discontinue the remakes we did, and we'll just do direct sequels. Fuck Halloween. If you can't take what people have fucked up already and creatively put a spin on it and make it work, then you aren't a good writer. There it is. Plain and simple. Look at Star Trek. Everybody's going to be like, well, Star Trek was a reboot. It's like, no, it really wasn't, because you had the entire original run of Star Trek movies. And I didn't watch them all. I'm not a Trekkie. I'm sorry. I'm just not a fan. Wasn't my thing. But I like J.J. Abrams, and I wanted to see the first movie. And I've only seen the first Star Trek J.J. Abrams movie, and I liked it. It's good for what it is. Once again, not Trekkie. But here's the thing. So all those movies that took place first, they all happened. They're all there. But then in the original, in this reboot, which everybody's like, well, it's a reboot, they're remaking the whole thing. It's like, no, they didn't. It's a prequel to all those. And yet, with Leonard Nimoy going in the original, going back, Spock comes back, talks to him, they're able to kind of alter the timeline a little bit. Mortal Kombat did the same thing. The video games. They had the entire run, midway, and it finally ends with Mortal Kombat Armageddon. And it's just like, it's like, what else can you do? We've literally destroyed the world pretty much. And then, when the next Mortal Kombat, which is called Mortal Kombat 2011, it's literally, everybody's like, it's a remake, but what they did was, they did geniusly. They went ahead and they showed that the events of all the first, 10 movies or games, whatever it was, they all still happened, but they end up sending these visions back to Raiden in part 1, and he's able to change the course of history, and then you can rebuild an entire fresh franchise over here, and it doesn't damage these. There's no erasing. You can just, they still exist. They still exist. Just on an alternate timeline. And I'm not saying that's how you have to fix everything. It doesn't have to always be timeline, but it's like you can make shit work. My God, there's ways around it. But it's like, no, we'll just erase shit and do direct sequels. We'll just make a remake. Every few years, let's just fucking remake it, because guess what? You guys are too stupid to know what the fuck's going on anyways, and this is just for the kids anyways, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know. It just irritates the fuck out of me. And watching this movie brought up all the anger from when I was watching these movies back then. And it's just like, it's a soulless remake. I don't care. And you know what? I feel bad because maybe Alvarez, can't pronounce his first name, that guy, he's a good director. Once again, I think he did really good. Don't Breathe. I like Don't Breathe. But it's like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he actually had passion for the first Evil Dead. But it's like, then you really fucked it up. You fucked it up. Guess what? I'm a huge fan of Halloween. I shouldn't be writing Halloween. I'm just not that great of a writer. If you see my movies, you know it's true. So it's like, boom, there you go. So it's like, what the fuck? I don't know. And studios don't care, because all they see is just like, oh, it's a name people see. And then they pump out garbage remakes. And if they make money, good. We're doing something right. It's like, no, you're not doing something right. You're just, people just want to see it. And then when you make enough of them, people kind of get wise to your trick and go, well, we're not watching that. And then they don't watch the next few remakes. And then you're like, well, that bombed. Clearly, Evil Dead sucks. Like, no, Evil Dead don't suck. Your fucking shitty remake sucked. That's what sucks. Shouldn't have knocked these around, I guess. These aren't my DVDs. These are Angel. She's getting rid of them. She didn't watch my channel anyways, be alright. I don't know. Anyways, long story, I guess I'll wrap this whole thing up before I just go off on another rant. Evil Dead sucks. Didn't like it. Let me know what you guys thought. I know you loved it. I know you fucking loved it. It seems like everybody I talked to is just like, it's really good. It's a good movie. That's all I got. Guys, next week, I hope I will review something a little bit better. Alright guys, all jokes aside, like what you like. This is not meant to be a personal attack against the fans of Evil Dead, because guess what? I like a lot of shit people hate, so I get it. Being a horror fan especially, because once again, I don't run with a big horror crowd, so a lot of my friends are just like, Citizen Kane's great, and I'm just like, whatever. So, don't take it personally. Don't get angry. But I would love to get some angry tweets or some angry comments below, like, fuck you, fatty, you don't know what you're talking about. Here's why it's great. But that's it. Like, defend it. Tell me why it's great. Tell me why all this needless backstory, and just tell me why it's a great remake. I'm not saying you have to admit that's better than the original. I don't think anybody has said that. There's not one person on the face of this earth that's even said, like, it ranks up even with the original trilogy. Like, it's not, it don't even overtake any of them. There's not one person that'll be like, this is better than Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead. No, not one person will say that. I'm just saying, why do you like this movie? Is it just the gore? Is it all it is? Just blood and guts? Like, fine, that's it. Cool, fine. Still a shit movie. I mean, you can have all the cool effects you want, but it's like a August Underground, kind of an unknown underground horror film. It's like, yeah, dude, that looks incredible, but there's no plot, and that's it's one of Simon's favorite movies. I just personally don't like it because there's nothing to it. It's like, fine, it looks great, looks fun. So it's a good demo reel. Once again, hope those guys who, what the set. Guys who did all the CGI that made the, atmosphere look great. The cinematographer, the special effects guy. Hope they all get great jobs after it, because they definitely deserve it. They did a great job. I'm not knocking them. I'm just knocking a shit movie. Like, it to me just didn't come through all together. So, and most of that's just writing. Maybe the writer shouldn't get second job. So, anyways, all I got, guys. Thank you for listening to me bitch for an hour. That's all I got. Till next time. Oh shit! Didn't know what you're on. Sorry. Hi. Thank you for watching that video. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to our channel. All that good stuff you do right here on YouTube, go ahead and do it. Check out our other videos. Go to our playlist. We got episodes of TPS TV, Journey Through the Dark Side. We got a new show coming out, the Horror Movie Review with Daniel Richardson. This guy. And of course, our short film, Entropy. You can find all that and more right here on YouTube. And then check out, yeah, look at that. All of our social media right there. And we don't just, copy and paste like the same post and put it on all. No, that's ridiculous. 3 different platforms, 3 different posts. I mean, the behind the scenes stuff you see on Twitter will not be the same stuff you see on Instagram. So there you go right there. So be sure to give us a follow and a like on all that right there. Keep up to date. Have you seen Unspeakable Acts yet? No? Come on. Pick you up the DVD right now. Links over there. Oh yeah. It's only $7. $3 shipping and handling. And of course, if you've already seen it and you haven't seen the public domain dungeon yet, boom, $5 DVD right there. So 5 S&P as well. Or sorry, 3 S&P as well. So there you go. Do that. And if you got the spare change, you want to hit us up, donate a little bit over here to TPS Productions. Our Patreon is right there. Oh yeah. So that's all we. Oh my God, sorry. I'm getting fired, ain't I? Yeah, that's all we got. Thank you for watching.